I'm Dr. Renee Bourdeaux, and I teach communication studies at Northwest University. I teach communication studies because for me, it is a discipline that allows me to be able to teach students things that they're able to put into practice right away as soon as they leave the classroom. So our communication is how we explain who we are to other people. And all of the skills in all of our classes help students do that in their interpersonal interactions with their friends. It helps them learn how to do it better at work. It helps them learn how to communicate in really every aspect of their life. And I love when I have students come talk to me and say, I just learned this last week and I went home and I can see it working with my parents, or we talked about this theory and I thought I'd never see it again, and I walked out and this is how it was working. This is how the presenter did their presentation during chapel. They followed this model that we just talked about. So communication for me comes alive all over the world and in every interaction. So when I see students start to take that, that's why I teach it, because it's so important in everything that we do. With the communication studies degree, you can focus, for starters in our department, you can focus in dramatic studies, you can focus in media and society, or you can focus in human communication. In dramatic studies, you are probably going to go work in the arts, or you're going to work in a theater where you're able to understand how our movement and our voice and our acting skills help us to be able to tell a larger story. A lot of the ways we saw stories in the Bible is through parables. How can you make some of those things come alive? In media and society, a lot of the classes that we teach will allow students to go out and work in any mediated environment. So whether that's on the internet, whether it's the apps that we have on our phones, whether it's writing for our newspapers or creating online digital content, the skills that they're getting to create a message that a lot of people can interpret and understand is what they're learning through all of our coursework. In human communication, students are getting a really good base for understanding our basic human interactions and how communication impacts those. And they'll take classes like public speaking and advanced public speaking, which help them develop the rhetorical skills to not only present well, but to persuade people and organize their thoughts and their delivery in such a way that they can compel people to hear what it is they have to say. You're able to work in a communication department to be able to craft messages, whether it's within the organization or outside of the organization, and you'll be able to do things like human resources, and you can do reporting. I could list all day. Really, a communications degree works in any career field. I love teaching at NU compared to other places that I've taught because the students here are very engaged and interested in how their faith really impacts and drives what they're feeling called to do. When I pose reflection questions in class, or when I have students reflect on things in essays, I almost feel guilty teaching here because I feel like students are teaching me in ways that the Bible really makes everything that we are gifted and created to do come alive. I love that because the students really embrace how their faith intersects with what their calling is on their life. I also really love NU because the classes are smaller, and the ability for students to not only be in community with one another is a beautiful thing. They're really looking out for each other in a way that I've never seen students on another campus interact. Beyond that, I love teaching at NU because my colleagues are amazing. All of the people that come to teach at NU really love to teach, really more than anything else. I'm blessed to be able to be around all these people because they're stimulating me to become better, because I'm hearing about all of the cool things they're doing, and together we are spurring each other on to greater things, which are in part because of the great community that we work in. One of my favorite moments with students at NU happen almost every other day or every day or sometimes multiple times a day, because students at NU seek out their faculty members because they want to understand and digest and wrestle with the things they learn in the classroom once they're outside of the classroom. And I love that my office hours every week are almost filled from brim to brim because I'm meeting somebody for coffee, or we're talking about something, or they're coming in to talk with me about an assignment. And my favorite moments are each of those moments where students are able to talk with me about where they're at. And some students want to take it to the next level. Some students are really struggling struggling with how do they figure out how this applies. Other students are like, just help me grow. And some students want to know how to grow in their classwork. Some students want to know how to grow in their personal relationships. Some students want to grow in their faith. And as a mentor, I feel like God has created all of these great opportunities for me to ask really powerful questions that are helping the students in so many aspects of their life. And so the moments with students make this job worthwhile. If a student is thinking about communication studies and they want to know what makes Northwest University different, I will tell you that the passion that the faculty members have here, we're able to really have the time and the space and the creativity to be able to invest it in the way that helps the students grow. I know because our classes are small enough and students have really engaging questions, we're able to take the class in the directions that the student wants. In a smaller class environment, you have that ability to really wrestle with those things. And why communication studies specifically? We have a call in our life to love one another. And in order to love people better, we have to be able to understand them. And at the basis of that is communicating what needs we have and understanding the needs that other people have. And so to learn how to communicate better with our needs in our personal relationships, in your romantic relationships, in your workplace relationships, communication studies will make you better in all